Hey YouTube, what's going on? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update on Bitcoin. And what we're going to be doing today, guys, is really paying attention to this pattern that's forming. You know, some people are drawing it as a symmetrical triangle. I believe it's more of a descending triangle. But one thing I really want to point out is when you're looking at these patterns, until you have that true breakout or that clean break, we can't determine exactly what it is. Remember, patterns, they're just basically price movements until you actually have that confirmation. That's one of the biggest things I think people miss out on. A lot of people go, okay, this is for sure a descending triangle, so that means it's going to break down to the downside. And like I've talked to you all about in my encyclopedia of chart patterns, basically a descending triangle will break down 65% of the time, 64 to 65% of the time. So guys, that leaves the other 35% a possibility for a break to the upside. And we've also been kind of looking at this as almost like a bullish pennant or bullish flag as well. So we're really looking to see if we do get continuation. And guys, when we're looking at this, us being up above that 200-day moving average, it's so important for us that we find support off that if we are to drop to the downside. If Bitcoin starts getting trapped below that 200-day moving average, then I believe, guys, we could see much lower numbers. But it's something that I really want you to pay attention to, because what we want to do, we want to wait for the confirmation on good volume, either to the upside or downside, and then ride those coattails. So like right now in terms of Bitcoin, guys, I'm in cash. I've been sitting in cash for quite a while now, and I'm just slowly watching the market right now and waiting to react to the market and those market movers. So that's what we're going to get into today, guys. If you like these videos, you get something out of it, let me know down low. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think we're going to be breaking to the upside or the downside? Because the candles are getting very small. We may still have a couple more days, you know, until we get to this apex, but candles are getting very small. Whenever candles get small, that's when that break's going to come. And if you see a downside break on heavy volume, guys, then we really could be going down pretty far. If we get an upside break on heavy volume, that could be a huge plus for us, where we could go up over $14,000, no problem. But volume's going to be the key. If we break out to the upside on low volume, then it's just going to be a fake out, guys. And a lot of times you can have a busted pattern. You can start going back down even lower. So we're going to get into all this. Appreciate you guys being here with me today. I wanted to start out with an article here. So this is macroeconomic analyst predicts Bitcoin below 8,000. So I just want to give you both sides of this, guys, the upside and the downside. Because like I said, I can't tell you. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you where Bitcoin's going to go next. I can't. No one can. Because we're not market makers. I'm not a market maker. You're not a market maker. The other crypto analysts, they're not market makers. We have to wait, and we have to react, and we have to be patient. Professional traders never chase the market. They wait for the market to come to them. You always have to wait, guys. It's so important. All right, so it says macroeconomic analyst predicts Bitcoin below 8,000. And this is by David Babian, I believe his name is, and this is on newsbtc.com. The Bitcoin price could creep below $8,000 level soon, according to Matty Greenspan of eToro. The senior market analyst said in a tweet today that Bitcoin is looking to test its 200-day moving average, which reflects the benchmark cryptocurrency average closing price average over the previous 200 days. At the time, his analogy, the 200-day moving average was coinciding with $7,785 as shown in the chart below. So you can see whenever you're looking at these moving averages, guys, our moving average is up, and we have been in an uptrend. So that's why it wouldn't be too shocking if we did have an upside break or that continuation after we've had this consolidation. And consolidation is a really good thing in terms of you consolidate and then you potentially have that next upward move. Okay, so that's why it's so important. It's either that or it's going to be this descending triangle, and this part right here was basically our blow off top of that market cycle, and we're going to start working our way back down till we eventually find a bottom again. Greenspan reminded that the reason for Bitcoin's potential downside action is a prevailing bearish pattern, the descending triangle. As the analyst noted, has a strong tendency to break downwards. It means Bitcoin could be retesting its interim support levels of that 9,300, only to extend its slide and set its primary downside target towards the 200-day moving average. And that's what I was talking about, guys. We really have to stay up above that 200-day moving average. On a lot of coins, altcoins, we've already lost it. So that's going to be something they have to get back up above, because it's now going to act as overhead resistance for us. Second opinion, Peter Brandt, a veteran commodity trader, also thinks the Bitcoin price action meets the definition of a descending triangle. Nevertheless, the analyst says the cryptocurrency should reach to the apex to confirm that it was trending inside a descending triangle all along. In full disclosure, I must inform you that I am long BTC as a position trader, yet as a swing trader, I must respect classical charting principles. The descending triangle is not a descending triangle until it's completed. So this is where they're talking about you have to have that completion, guys. And we have to either break out to the upside or the downside, which is going to be so very important for us. And Peter goes on to say here as well, there have been numerous occasions over the years when prices blew out of the upside of a descending triangle. When this happens, it is referred to as descending triangle failure. Okay, so that's really important to note. And then the next opinion, or a bullish pennant. Tilting of the base of the descending triangle slightly down gives an impression of an upside bias. Bitcoin, as market analyst Alex Kruger noted last month, could also be trending inside a bullish pennant, with price forming higher lows and lower highs as it consolidates its way towards the pennant's apex. After that, it would attempt a breakout to the upside if supported by a spike of volume. Guys, so important for that volume. And then there's just more that goes on if you want to read more in the article. But that's basically what we're between, is this descending triangle or this bullish pennant. And the consequences, to the upside or downside could be 30, 40, 50%. We've seen breaks that much, guys. And it happens all the time in this space. So I want you to be prepared. And another spot that I really want you to pay attention to is the bottom part of this horizontal line here, this horizontal support. If we start breaking down through about 9,300, that's where we're going to get in some trouble. So we really need to watch that $9,300 area. It's so crucial. So guys, whenever you're consolidating, you can see we're chopping back and forth. And what they're talking about is the lower highs that have been coming in here. You can see where we even had a failed breakout there. And then we have a horizontal bottom. And what I have on right now, guys, for my moving averages, in orange, we're looking at the 12 EMA. So that's our faster moving in terms of it's a shorter time frame, guys. So that will show you in the short term what's going on. We have our 26 EMA, which I like to look for crosses. Our 12 up above the 26 for confirmation with a good candlestick pattern is important, and that's going to be at the 26 is at 10,333. In pink, we have our 50 moving average, and then in white there we have our 100 moving average, which you can see, guys, we potentially could come down and test again. And then we have that 200-day moving average, which I don't have up right now, which is around that 7,700 that they were looking at. But in my opinion, even staying up above this 100-day moving average is going to be so important, because take a look at this, guys, and I'm a moving average trader. It's one of the things I like. I love candlesticks and moving averages, support, resistance, trend lines. Those are things I find very important and very useful. So we actually broke up above the 100-day moving average at the end of March, and we have been up above it ever since then, guys. So now as the candles are getting tighter, that's what I'm hoping, that we find some support here and we can make a break or a bust out of this 10,924 is going to be overhead resistance, this red line. And then we're going to be looking up here around that 12,083. And then it's going to be around 12,075, and then up there around $13,000. And I like to go off real bodies, guys. I think real bodies are more important than just going off the wicks in terms of like support and resistance or actually breaking through. That's something that I like to look at. In terms of the RSI, we're at 49, so we're neutral right now. And what happened was we were having lower highs here, guys, and we're actually having that flat bottom. So it's almost like a descending triangle here, and we actually broke out of it, and now we're back testing this trend line. So we're going to see if we fall back in it and start getting trapped by it, or if we're going to have a move to the upside. So that's important, and we're going to go through a few different indicators here, guys, just so you really see this. But when I said the candles are getting tight, do you see how tight they're getting here? And typically when they get tight, you're going to be looking for that break. It won't tell you to the upside or the downside. You got to follow the volume, but it's going to show you that a break's going to be coming fairly soon here. Okay, so that's important. The next indicator that I wanted to look at was our stock RSI. Take a look at this. Stock RSI is at 77 and 79, so we are in overbought territory. It's looking like we do want a potential upwards cross here, though, guys, which would be a good thing. And remember, our stock, we've been as high as 100 and 100 before. We really can get pegged out. So you don't necessarily always just want to go off indicators. That's one thing. In this space, Bitcoin to the upside or downside can get so overextended, and it can stay there for a long time. So that's something that you do want to keep in the back of your mind, guys. The next one, we're going to look at our MACD. MACD, our histogram's ticking to the negative here. We still have our bullish cross, and we're just floating right now. So a little bit of a mixture there. A little more neutral. Next one I wanted to do, guys, was our Bollinger Bands. And with our Bollinger Bands, you can see that they're contracting as well. They're getting tighter. So our lower band's going to be around that 9,500. Our upper band's going to be up here around 10,900. You can see we're just floating right in here. So whenever, in terms of with moving averages, guys, to teach you something here, moving averages are not near as important when you're moving sideways as they are when you're moving up, trending up, or trending down. That's what they're more so for, is to track those trends. Just like this was an uptrend here. You can see we're up above all the moving averages, and now we're just kind of chopping back and forth. We're bouncing up above them, then we're going back down them. But I want to see that 100 hold, and I want to see $9,300 hold. That's going to be the key for us, guys. And we also have decreasing volume right now, which happens a lot when we're in these consolidation ranges. You'll actually see the volume start to decrease, and then once we get our break to the upside or the downside, that's when you're going to see that volume expand as well, guys. And what I've been doing is doing a lot of reading on volume, because volume is really going to confirm things for you. You can have downside breaks without a lot of volume, and you can still fall far, because the market basically, guys, can fall under its own weight. And that's why in terms of upside breakouts, it needs to be accompanied by a lot of volume. Volume's the key, because when you're trying to move up when a market naturally wants to fall, you have to have that volume to drive it up higher, guys. So those are my key targets. I just wanted to point this out to you. Let me know down below what you think, guys. Appreciate you being here with me today, and we just have to wait for this break. That's the main thing I can tell you, is wait for confirmation before you jump into something. That's what I really like to do, guys, and I've learned a lot from catching falling knives and just all the different things that you learn trading these things. And just remember, this market can get very overextended to the upside as well as the downside. So let me know what you think down low, guys. I appreciate you being here with me. I'm going to leave my Robinhood link down low if you're looking to help support this channel. That gives me a free stock. It'll give you a free stock. You can trade cryptos, and I also like to trade in the stock market as well. I like to have as many options as I can in terms of trading, because once you learn how to trade, you can take it into any market in the world, and that's what I'm looking to do, guys. So let me know down low. Appreciate you being here with me. God bless. Take care.